All right, team. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia. I'm the founder and CEO of Gar Capital. It is Friday, November 22nd, 2024. Glad to be with you this morning and every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on our YouTube channel. I went ahead and posted on our Discord server for our paid members on Market Watch. I asked them what is their preference in terms of the Morning Note. Do they just like YouTube? Do they like Instagram? This week I did one video live on the Discord server. It's called Discord Radio or Gar Capital Radio. It seems like you guys really enjoyed it. I'll wait for a little more answers or a little more votes in regards to that. But if you guys really like the Discord audio, I'll also incorporate that as well. So trying to make it easy for everybody where they have access to see these videos. YouTube has been, I mean, I've been on YouTube now for almost 10 years. So again, just trying to progress and see what's better to reach our audience is all. With that being said, good morning. Let's go ahead and get started. Futures tend look a little flat this morning. Dow futures are up 11 points. The Nasdaq's down about 52. The S&P 500 is down 0.11%, and the Russell's pushing higher, 0.27%. So, kind of a rotation out of tech into smaller caps, which is completely natural and normal. It's been happening, at least in the last couple months. Anything that stands out to me, Google. Again, that split in terms of they have to spin off Chrome, some antitrust stuff. They're down about 0.82% today. Metaverse is down 0.64%. Nvidia is up this morning. Let me see if I can get the updated pre-market movers. Yeah, we're starting to get a little bit of a push. Make sure here. Yeah, Google down. Let me see pre-market movers. I was looking at the heat map in terms of the S&P 500. All right, let's go to, here we go. Here's our pre-market movers this morning. This is through MarketWatch. Super Microcomputer, SMCI bouncing 4.6%. Peloton up 4.5%. Gap, good earnings, good guidance, up about 19%. Ross Stores up 7%. So the consumer doing well. I guess the only one that's been kind of hurting was in turn Target. And we talked about that on Sunday, that I expected Target to pull back. Snowflake, that thing soared about 38%, 34% yesterday, pulling back about 5%. Completely natural. People are going to take profits after a big move. Reason why I didn't want to chase it. Palo Alto Networks, we talked about that yesterday. That's down about this morning. Micron down about 2.5%. That was a stock I was watching as well this week, but nothing yet. Obviously, we haven't opened. What's standing out in terms of the big boys? Google down 0.86%, like I spoke about in terms of the antitrust. They may have to spin off the Chrome browser, very similar to Microsoft when they had their antitrust back in the late 90s, early 2000s regarding Internet Explorer. Back in the day, a little bit of history, we had Netscape Navigator. I don't know if anyone remembers what that is. That was a type of browser, and you had to pay for that. Imagine buying a browser. Now we have like Mozilla, Chrome, all these. And back then, Windows 95 or Windows 98, depending on what Windows you had Microsoft Explorer built into it. So it was kind of a way where people didn't need to buy Netscape Navigator or any other kind of web browser in order to surf the web. Well, Microsoft bundled Internet Explorer saying that it was part of the OS, the operating system, and that was the whole antitrust issue. The reason I'm talking about that is very similar to Google, where their Chrome browser is kind of intertwined with their email, their search engine, all that jazz. So again, I don't know the details in terms of the antitrust lawsuit. I'm not a lawyer, but it just seems very similar. So with that being said, does that give us an opportunity to trade or play Google? Let's say that. So we are still bouncing, or we are now, let's see where we are. Are we on the 200 day? Yeah, we're still above the 200 day at 165.35. We're above that. That's what I'm looking for if we get a breakdown, because we have one more gap to fill right here at 150. 150 is going to be my target area for Google. We are not there. There's one more gap to fill at 145, but I think the 150 zone right around here, it gets really interesting to take a look at possibly scooping up a couple more shares or buying some calls. I can see there's an upward trend really the whole time since Google. But again, we get these opportunities based on headlines. We'll take advantage of it as we go. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the market as well, the continuation of the market. Crude oil is down 0.06% this morning, flat. Gold is up 0.71. Oh, man, I missed that gold trade. Once we broke above 2,600, I wanted to go long gold so we could retrace this fall, and we're almost there. So let's see if we can break above this level here of 27.18. And if we do, we can target the highs. We're right at the 20-day and the 50-day. So that's what I'm looking for. If we can break above 27.18, and then we can trade as high as 2800. But really, the bounce was right off that 100-day on gold. So anyone who caught it, congratulations. Well done. Let's see if we continue rather quickly before I answer questions. Forex land, the only one that stands out. Pound dollar down about 61 pips. Euro dollar down about 41 pips, 104.30. Bitcoin rejecting 100K. We hit 100K on Bitcoin on the future side. So we know what it is. This is going to happen. I mean, it's inevitable. The question is what's going to happen when it does. And we tagged it. We just pulled back nearly $2,000 on Bitcoin. So looking at it here, if one were so inclined to trade Bitcoin, that 100K level is going to be your resistance. Round number theory. We know the drill. So do not be surprised if Bitcoin this weekend gets a little bit of a pullback. That's it. And nothing really needed to do there. Again, what I'm waiting for is if we can get a retest back to 75K. We know how volatile Bitcoin is. All we want to do is retest the breakout. If not, check out this gap here at 78. So 75K, unless you're doing dollar cost averaging, that's the only way I look at Bitcoin to trade or to take a look at. We hit BITO, which is the Bitcoin ETF, twice this week. Great job by the team. So we took care of that. At least we got those two, and we'll see if we get another opportunity. VIX is down 1.13%. The dollar is new 52-week highs, I believe, 107.41. And yet the stock market seems to not even be phased by that dollar. If you guys remember, I talked about that dollar index, 106.50. That was the key level of resistance. We broke out of it. I don't know if that's a false breakout, but we better get back below 107 rather quickly. I don't want the dollar to get too high, too hot of a breakout, because the last time that we got a high dollar that way was really back in 2022, and things were not as great as it is now in terms of stocks and crypto and such. So you guys remember 2022, how tough it was with that inflation scare. The dollar being higher is a concern. Obviously, we'll be watching that very closely, but that's what I'm seeing currently. Okay, let's go ahead and answer some questions. Hi, happy Friday. This is from Painless. What are your thoughts about QQQ December 6th expiry? Thanks for everything, Carlos. Goat. Thank you so much. You guys are very kind. QQQ 12/6 expiry. Okay, so that's what, a couple weeks? What are we looking for is the question. How's that? We'll see. What are we looking for? We have one gap here at 507.60. That's probably your best bet, right around 508. The one I expect to have the most volume, of course, would be all-time highs target at 515. The problem is that we have Thanksgiving coming up. That's going to be a short week. Wednesday, pretty much after lunch, everyone's going to be traveling for the most part on Thanksgiving. Thursday is Thanksgiving Day, market's closed. Friday is the day after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, the market's closed at 1 p.m. Bond market's going to be very, very quiet if they're even open. If they're even open, I have to check. So that gives us an extra week. I like QQQ to 515, but I'm just waiting for this 507 level to fill. If you want to be a little more conservative, that's the trade that you want to do. It's going to be more pricey, but if you want to kind of go a little OTM and you're a little more bullish, possibly buy a little more time. Maybe buy a couple more weeks. Take a look at 515 Painless. Probably your best situation if you're expecting that. But I would wait for that gap to fill. ASML level to buy stock for long. Yep, let's see it. 611.49. That's the gap fill that we're looking for. I put the alert there. We're bouncing a little bit, but that's the key level that I'm watching. Let's see. Good morning, Carlos. Walmart and Amazon, or AMZ. I assume Amazon. Let's take a look at Walmart. We traded Walmart yesterday. We had the 90 calls. We took care of those. Well done, team. 89 breaks. Again, 90 is inevitable to me. 90.88. We talked about that this week. So yes, Walmart, I'd stay bullish. The only really concern or risk is 88.34. That's your downside gap to fill in the 1 hour. But Walmart is bullish. Amazon, I want to see if we retested. We broke the retest of 200. Okay, we're below the 20. Use 200 as resistance if we're planning to short. But I would wait for 195.51 to break down. And if it does, we have one gap at 190. This is going to be tough. I think Walmart is more bullish than Amazon at this very moment, but you could see where we're bouncing. We got to get above $200.53. This stock will be on the watch list for next week in terms of the weekend. I'm keeping an eye on Amazon very closely because we did get the breakout and it pulled back. Now we have to see if the bulls, meaning the buyers, are going to defend this zone of breakout. And that's what we're really watching. MSTR. Thoughts on it? Well, MSTR invests in Bitcoin. Bitcoin's at all-time highs. This is what we get. But look at that. Pull back on the daily. We tagged 543. Not the best candle. Now we're at 400. So you have one more gap here at 282. Let's say Bitcoin gets to 75K. Very, very, very realistic. Could happen. That's pretty much your target. 282 for a gap fill. If you want to retest the breakout, it's 200. And that would pretty much give you 50% of where you are currently. Nothing against MSTR. I just think owning Bitcoin is a lot easier. And you don't have to worry about the volatility of a stock or board of directors, compensation, dividends, stock dilution, quarterly reports. Just own the coins. Just my opinion. If you want to trade MSTR, you want to own it, by all means. But again, it is a Bitcoin proxy. TGT, did you go long in these levels? No, I talked about Target this Sunday regarding that I expected it to pull back. So if you want to take a look at that YouTube video, we talked about the three stocks that we were watching that were all earnings based. We had Target, Walmart, and Nvidia. Nvidia above 140. I was looking at the 150 calls. It broke that. But we didn't trade them, unfortunately. We had other stuff going, which we did well, by the way. Walmart, same deal. We did Walmart yesterday, so that's great. And Target still got a gap to fill, 112.54. Yep, that's where we're going. And that's okay. That's pretty much where you're looking for to look for a position on Target. All we want to do is check back last November's earnings report, which was actually very bullish versus bearish this go around. Back and forth, ping pong we go. No sound, something happened. Let me see. Testing, testing. Let's see the mic. Is the mic not working? Let me make sure. Can everyone hear me? I hope so. My mic is on at least. All right. If anyone else has any issues, let me know. Apple calls. Let's do it. Sounds good. Okay, it works. Denali, make sure to unmute. It's okay, man. It's Friday. We all need some coffee. I like Apple here. I'm pissed because Apple, I had the 2:30 calls from last week and it hit on Tuesday. So I'm like always, not always, lately I've been kind of like a week early, which is kind of killer. Okay, so let's do this. Let's see if we break 230.50. And if we do, we'll just go for 235. That's pretty much exactly what I'm looking for. Remember this downward, these flags that keep hitting? I expect Apple to move higher to 235. It's just one big range since what? June? Terrible. SMCI. Yeah, I just talked about SMCI being higher this morning. Hasn't broken my alert for that kind of target that we're looking for. I got very close though. Had like a couple alerts. Here you go. 1084, that's one gap and one gap at 1708. We are bouncing. This is all short covering. You have one more gap at 4657. If we were to get there, I'm looking for a break of 3834. The good news with SMCI is that if we were to trade it, guess what? They're cheaper. They're going to be cheaper than, other semiconductors that are higher priced. The only issue is the implied volatility. So it's going to cost a little bit, not based just on the stock price, but in the implied volatility as well. 3834, we can take a look. Okay, SPY. Perfect. And SPY, what are we looking at? 595, clear 595.10. That's kind of that wick high. And then you could target 600. Pretty simple on SPY. GME squeeze going into next week. You must have read the Market Watch. I talked about that. Break above 30. I think that we do go higher. But again, what level? Maybe 40 to 48 or so. But it's got to break 30.08. We're at 27. Levels for BA. Then I'll take a look at the Instagram. BA, I need above 150 at least. If we get above 150, we'll take a look at 155 or 160 or 163 calls or so. I think it gets to 165. But Boeing needs to prove to us that we can get above 150. Thanks for the questions, guys. All right, what we got? Good morning. Good morning. Anthony says good morning on Instagram. IG baby. Asmania says good morning. Best ways through here, IG and YouTube, says Anthony. Okay, perfect. Thank you, man. Thank you for that vote. You're the man, brother. Have a great Friday, everyone. Cheers, cheers. Thank you, guys. Hope everyone's having a nice Friday. I can hear you. Mic is working fine. Netflix runner again. Remember we traded Netflix last week? And that was expensive, but man, this thing has been on fire. Listen, very hard to chase this. Let's be real. But if we're looking for an extension, Fibonacci extension, we're going by here 2022 lows, 1033.65. That's the 160, 180 extension. What I would like is that we get a pull back to 800. And if we can defend there, then I think you could have the green light to go higher on Netflix. But I prefer this to pull back. I know, I know. Wet blanket. Yes, I would prefer every stock to soar 30% every day, but that's not how the world works. So we're just going to see if we get a retest on Netflix. Thanks for confirming that the mic is fine, guys. Thank you. Good morning. Lily, good morning. Like, good morning, class. Good morning. I love it. All right, Lily, 675.33. That's your downside gap. We hit some support here, though, from April. But if we can get one more little speck of a pullback, I think that's worth a shot. We got one more here in July. I don't think we get there. But right here, yeah, it's not too bad. It just reminds me of NVIDIA. If you guys remember when the CEO was selling shares and we started focusing on some levels of support, Eli Lilly has been on fire, guys. This is profit taking. This is what it is. Just doesn't go straight up. I wish. Tesla. All right. And then we're going to wrap it up. I'll go back to the YouTube and see what's up. That Tesla, look at this. Chop. Nothing. Got to get above 362. And if you get above 362, you target 400, 415, you call it a day. But until then, we got nothing. Let's see if we get above 360, and then we can call it there. Thanks for the questions again. I can hear you. I can hear you. Thanks. Okay. Everyone confirmed they can hear me. Good. All right. So that's where we are this week or today. Let's take a look at NASDAQ futures really quickly. 20,902. We keep rejecting it. So before we do anything special in terms of going long, let's go ahead and see if we break 20,915. Let's say 10. Give us 10 points to play with here. Look at this. Just absolute up and down, slowly but surely, higher highs, higher lows, at least since last Friday. So we have a green week in terms of stocks since Friday was the big flush. But 20,910, once we break above there, that'll confirm at least that we're going to get back to somewhat semblance of a journey to all-time highs. But the good news, if we get above 20,910, we could do 21,000 to 21,001 or 2. I'll go over that on the futures video this week as well. MU, yes, last one. MU. Yeah, MU is right above the 50. You got a couple moving averages getting very, very close here, right around 104. I'll wait for 114 to break so we can target the upside gap fill. It didn't break my downside alert either of 95.52. I mean, it grazed it, but nothing yet. So that's what I'm waiting on MU. MU I'll put on the watch list this week as well. I'll be on the lookout for y'all. All right, we'll leave it there, guys. Have a great rest of your morning. Thank you so much for joining me. We will see you this weekend for all of our weekly content. We have our weekly recap video. We'll do our futures video. We'll have our watch list for publicly for the members of the server. We also do the watch list for our paid members as well. I think the Black Friday deal is coming. If not, it's already out. So anyone who wants to join our Signal service or be masterclass, yes, I am teaching temporarily for now. So if you sign up as a masterclass member or student, I would be the one teaching you or Nick. Let's say if you choose me as your teacher, fair enough. Just so you know, I'm not doing it forever. It's very, very temporary until I can find some help and find another teacher to assist us with really all you guys joining. And again, I appreciate it, not complaining, but just be patient with me. I know I have a lot of DMs to go, guys. So the team is working very, very hard. But again, we'll do the best we can. Thank you guys so much for even your interest in our company and interested in our services. We won't let you down, that's for sure. Any questions, feel free to let me know. Have a great rest of your morning, and I will see you guys this weekend. Cheers all.